Oh Lord, sorry y'all. I was trying to figure something out. Normally, um, I go ahead and I allow everybody to comment in the chat. Moving forward, I won't be doing that. Moving forward, probably for the most part, when it comes to my live streams, I'm gonna be doing subscribers only in the chat. So only if you have been subscribed to my channel for 20 minutes or more are you gonna be able to go ahead and comment. And but after I do get my memberships up, obviously because I just started my memberships on this channel, I will start doing members only chats. And the reason that I'm doing that, you guys, is not to be mean, because I know that everybody cannot afford a membership. And I understand that. I think my membership is probably $3.99. That's for the first level. I'm going to be making a second level membership as well. That second level membership is going to be for LaTruth commentary and content only. So that second level is going to be a little bit more than the $3.99, and I'll give you the reason for that later on in this live. So what we're going to talk about today, I'm going to do my shout outs in a minute. Hey everybody. Hello everyone. I'm going to do my individual shout outs in a minute. But before I get started, I want to just give a quick intro on what we're going to be talking about today. I'm not going to be live super long because I do want to go live again later on tonight, in which I'll be streaming on my other platform because I don't want to play the whole interrogation on live. So we're going to be breaking down a viral interrogation that I watched. When I tell y'all, it's going to knock y'all off y'all feet with all of the mistakes that were made in that interrogation. So we're going to talk about that later, though. So I probably will be going live again later tonight, like late, like 11 or 12. But let's see how many people I got in here. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Oh, how could I forget this, y'all? I jumped right into it. How could I forget this? Welcome back to the Upper Echelon Podcast. We keep it real and we keep it jiggy over here. Cause why? Do y'all know why? Drop it in the chat if y'all know why. Because we ain't never, ever scared. Hit that like button on your way in. I got 67 people in the room. I need 67 likes. Make sure that you're subscribed to all of my platforms. Also, make sure you hit the notification bell so that you can be notified anytime that I live stream. When you hit the notification bell, make sure you just don't hit the bell. But after you hit it, make sure you choose the option that says all notifications. And that way you will get the notifications of every video that I drop and every time that I live stream, okay? So let's get into the topic. Get into the topic, which will be Ananda Lewis, you guys, in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We're going to talk about Ananda Lewis and some really bad news that came out very recently. Now, I've heard that she's been dealing with breast cancer for quite some time. Oh, shoot, y'all. Hold on one second. I'm moving too fast. I forgot. No, I didn't. For quite some time. And we're going to talk a little bit about her journey and some of the mistakes that she said that she feels that she made and some of the regrets that she has at this point now that she has reached stage 4 breast cancer. Okay. So let's do, and then we're also going to get into a little bit of the song that LaTruth put out. I want to say he put it out like either early this morning or last night. And inside of that song, he talks about some of his feelings towards his ex-wife and how he feels about the things that has happened to him and how her domestic violence lie that she told the world affected his life and how it affected his career. And he really just laid it out. So I don't want to get into that right now. We're going to get into that later. So what's going on? Oh, also, if you would like to monetarily support my channel, you can hit my Cash App. It's pinned at the bottom of the screen. $ UPP 1987, and it'll be a picture of me. Hey me us, hey Robin Lines, Danny Dunstan, Carmel Cutie, Miss Phelps, K Monet, Bettina Subber. Hey, I'm Chosen. Oh, you know what? Speaking of I'm Chosen, you guys, I do, everybody knows Blueberry Boots. Now, she had a situation happen very recently She's in need of a little bit of assistance due to a situation where some things were stolen from her. Now, if you have it in your heart to assist her and help her until she can get back up on her feet, please, I don't have her Cash App now on me. Let's see. Let me look at my phone. If anybody has the Cash App for Blueberry Boost, and Blueberry Boost is a huge supporter of all of us, so I wouldn't feel right without telling you guys that and let you know that she's going through a situation right now. If you guys can find it in your hearts, or if you have it to give, if somebody can drop Blueberry Boost Cash App in the chat for me, if you can send her whatever you have just to help out, because we're a community over here and we try to help each other if we can. And if you can't, shoot up a prayer for her, okay? Hey Nene, hey Michelle, hey K Brown, Treasure Life, what's going on? Hey Karen, hey Angela, Gigi, how you doing? Hey Chrissy loves purple. Hey Jackie, hey Lasonder, Nola Bunny. Hey A Stokes, Stephanie Landry. Hey Miss Tangela, Uniquely Me, Sean, Drika, Marlene, Sanisha, hey Special K, hey Cheryl. Let's see. I think I said hey to Angela. Thank you for that. I'm chosen. Hey, Honey Williams. Hey, Mob Deuce. Yes, Carmel, stage 4 cancer. We're going to get into it in just a moment. Hey, D-Head, what's going on, my brother? Hey, Talk Sweet to Scorpio Goddess. Okay, so I think I got everybody. If I missed you, I'm sorry. It was not intentional. Let's get into this. So there, obviously, I don't know if I have anybody, not somebody you know, but you directly. I don't know if anybody in my chat has had breast cancer, has breast cancer. But if you have it or have had it and you recovered from the illness and you don't mind being transparent, drop a 1 in the chat. I want to see how many breast cancer survivors I have in the chat. I want to see that. And then I also want to see, drop a 1 if you're a breast cancer survivor, drop a 2 if you're dealing with breast cancer right now, if you feel like being transparent. We're going to play a little bit of what Ananda said that she regrets once she found out that she had breast cancer. Now, she's going to go through, thank you so much, Michelle Spikes. Thank you. She's going to speak on how she discovered her breast cancer. Now, if I do have anybody who has it or has had it, don't, and you want to be transparent, how did you find out that you had it? Or, how did you discover it? Was it through a mammogram? Was it self-discovery? Ananda says that she was actually in the shower. She was doing kind of she put soap on her fingers and was kind of doing a self-examination. And she ended up finding a lump. And the thing about, breast tissue is there's lumps in breast tissue anyway. So you kind of have to know your body when you're doing a self-examination. I would not suggest to anybody to only do a self-examination. I would say that you go get your yearly mammogram. That's what I would suggest. Now, I've never had one myself. However, I believe at one point the age to begin to get mammograms was at the age of 45. Now I think it's the age of 40 because I heard Ananda say I believe it's 40 at this point. So don't be afraid to go ahead and get your mammogram. Just go get it over with, and you won't share those same regrets that Ananda shares. Before I get into her, let me look at my comments because I think I got some people. Let's see. Let me go up a little bit. I'm chosen said I lost my sister and aunt to it. My grandmother beat it. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm chosen. So it runs in your family. Mavdus says my stepmother recently recovered from breast cancer. Thank God for that. I am so happy that you have a survivor. in your family. Lysandra said, I had cancer, but it was not breast cancer. Well, I'm glad to see you here, Lysandra, and I'm glad that you beat it. Because I think I remember you, and you know what, Lysandra, I think I remember you saying that on a panel at one point. If you don't mind, can you tell us what type of cancer you beat? Let's see. Okay, Lisa Smith says at age 40. Talk Sweet to Scorpio Goddess says at 40, I'm waiting to be scheduled for my mammogram as well. Okay. You're 40 now. Okay, so you're waiting to be scheduled for your mammogram. I heard that they hurt. Who's had a mammogram before? Because I've never had one. But I heard that they kind of hurt a little bit. And maybe that's some of the reasons why some people don't go get them out of fear. Special K said exactly, Upper, because it could be fibrocystic breast. Early detection is the best. I knew someone younger than 40 that had it. You know what, Lori? I'm glad you said that, because you know what? Years ago, I had just graduated from school and I moved back to Chicago, and I was working at Starbucks. And at that time, I was really young. I was probably like 24, 23, something like that. And one of my coworkers, she was really cool, or is really cool. Because she's still here, thank God. But at that time, she was the age that I am now. Like, well, I'm 37. She was like probably 35 or 36 or something like that. And she had to break the news to everybody that she didn't have to, but she chose to tell everybody that she had actually been diagnosed with breast cancer. She had beautiful locks. She had to cut her hair off while she was going through, I guess, the treatment. And she ended up having to get a double mastectomy at the age of 35 or 36, somewhere around there. But she's still here today, cancer-free. But she had to get a double mastectomy. Now, I don't know much about breast cancer, but I do know that even if you get, for most people that get a double mastectomy, I think they have the option to get reconstructive cosmetic surgery after the fact. I believe. I could be wrong. But yeah, but she was only 35 or 36. So, you know, when they say that the recommended age for your first mammogram should be 40, I believe that if you want to go sooner, heck, why not? Especially if it runs in your family. There was also a basketball wife who, I forget her name, but she was a doctor. And she was married to a doctor as well. This was, I forget her name. This was like an old season of Basketball Wives. And she actually didn't have breast cancer, but she went ahead and got a double mastectomy by choice because her mother had breast cancer. Her grandmother had breast cancer. So she did not want to end up getting breast cancer. So before she could even get to the point where she may have gotten a diagnosis, she literally chose to get a double mastectomy. I thought that was very brave of her. Oh, bladder cancer. Ooh. Let's see. I don't know anything. I've never heard of that before, Lysandra. Scorpio said, I've had one. It's uncomfortable. So it's uncomfortable, but it's not gonna kill you. Hey, Amber. Hey, Mr. Troy. Gigi said I had to start getting mammograms at age 25 because my mom had breast cancer. Oh, so when you have it in your family, they recommend that you start getting them sooner. Okay. Trace said it's uncomfortable, but it didn't hurt me. Lisa Smith said I did my mammogram last month. Cooper said my aunt had breast cancer removed, and a childhood friend found out just April 22nd. So she's still going through the process, and she's 40. That's scary, y'all. Angela said they don't really hurt at all, so that's good to hear. It's probably just a little uncomfortable for some people. I'm Chosen said I had to go twice a year at one point, now yearly, and I hate it. Karen League said I just had a mammogram last month. I just had a mammogram done Tuesday. It's good to hear y'all taking care of yourselves. I'm thinking about going ahead and just doing it too, even though I'm 37. Shoot, it's not like, I'm exempt because I'm 37, because like I told you, that story of a young lady that I work with that was actually diagnosed. I don't know what stage it was. I just know that she ended up getting a double mastectomy. And I wasn't, I don't remember all the details of what stage she was in or anything like that. Amelia said, I've had 2 mammograms and the first one hurt, but the second one did not. Oh, that's what's up, Special K. She says, my mom is a survivor of breast cancer, 50 years strong. All right. So Special K, do you do anything special? Is it recommended that you go twice a year, or did you start going early for mammograms because your mom it had breast cancer and it runs in your family? Honey Williams says they do hurt a little. They smash your breast in between two metal plates. Okay. Okay, y'all, I can't read everything because I got to get to, let me read this last comment. Miss Malibu says, my cousin had it twice and a double mastectomy before 40 and mere her demise due to and met her demise due to cancer. My sister just completed chemo and had surgery to remove breast cancer 1 week ago. I'm going to keep your sister in my prayers, Miss Malibu. Carmel Cutie said it's like a pap smear. It's uncomfortable, but you get through it. So we're going to get to a little bit of what Ananda said. Before I do that, I want to read a couple of statistics when it comes to breast cancer. So in the United States, breast cancer is the most common cancer in women aside from skin cancer. The American Cancer Society estimates that in 2024, there will be about 300,000 new cases of innovative breast cancer in women. In the United States, the American Cancer Society estimates that in 2024, there will be about 42,000 deaths from breast cancer in women. About half of breast cancers occur in women with no specific risk factors other than age and sex. However, a woman's risk of breast cancer nearly doubles if she has a first-degree relative with a breast cancer diagnosis. About 5 to 10% of breast cancers are linked to a known gene mutation, such as BRCA1 and BRCA2. The risk of being diagnosed with breast cancer peaks in women aged 70 through 79 years. The risk of dying from breast cancer continues to increase throughout life. Approximately 0.521% of breast cancers occur in men. In the United States, about 530 men are estimated to die from breast cancer in 2024. In 2022, breast cancer caused 600,000 deaths globally. It was the most common cancer in women in 157 out of 185 countries. And those are a little bit of statistics. I did find it interesting where they showed the statistics for men because there is a notion that men can't get breast cancer, and they actually can. So let's play a little bit of what Ananda said. Of course, I'm going to be stopping it in between to speak on, do some commentary because I have to. But before I do that, I just want to say this one last thing, y'all. If you guys didn't know, I don't know if you all grew up in between the late, well, I was born in the late 80s, but I grew up in the early 90s. So I remember Topanga. If y'all remember Boy Meets World, there was an actress on Boy Meets, beautiful girl too, on Boy Meets World named Topanga. She just shared her breast cancer diagnosis, but she was very lucky in her diagnosis because she caught it very early. And I think her doctor said that her diagnosis was at stage 0, which is really unheard of. I've never heard of that before. So she was diagnosed with stage 0 breast cancer, which means that she has to still go through some forms of treatments. But she said that her doctor stated that there is no such thing as an easy cancer. So there is no easy cancer, even though she was a stage 0. At this particular point in time, she is cancer free. However, she still does have to go through some forms of chemotherapy and everything like that to complete the process. But she is saying that it's showing that she's cancer free and she caught it very early. I want to say that Ananda called. Hey, Miss Sean, what's going on, girl? Hey, Bridget. Hey, Lachelle. Hey, Nina. Hey, Lori. Who else came in? Hey, Alexis. Shanta, Ramona G. I want to say Ananda called hers at stage 2, but let's get into, and then you guys also know that Shannon Doherty, she had been battling breast cancer for years and she just passed away this year in July. So let's get into this. Ananda's situation is very interesting because she actually refused certain treatments and radiation because she felt that it was bad for her. So she chose more holistic approaches. And at this point, she is now stage 4. It has spread throughout her spine, her lungs, and other areas of her body. The breast cancer in Ananda at this point, she's fighting for her life. It is no longer localized. It has now metastasized throughout her body, every part of her body except for her brain. So at this point in time, Ananda Lewis, it is reported by several news sources that outlets that she is fighting for her life. So let's listen to some things she states here in this interview with Atlanta Black Star. Let me hold on one second. Okay, let me just explain this really quick if you guys are wondering or confused. Okay, let me just read a little bit of the description because I don't want y'all to get confused. Now, this is an interview that Ananda did with Atlanta Black Star. Okay, but I believe that this interview was done in 2020. It says in the description, TV icon Ananda Lewis recently revealed her heartbreaking stage 4 breast cancer battle months after a double mastectomy. She first opened up about her stage 3 diagnosis in 2020, revealing in an Atlanta Black Star interview about initially avoiding mammograms due to fears of radiation. Now battling the same disease her mother died from, she reflects on her journey and what she wishes she's done differently. Okay, let's see. Okay, so in this particular interview, this is after she received her double mastectomy. So let's listen to some of the regrets that she's had before it turned into stage 4.
To know when something changes, that's vital. And so I did find my own lump, and I had just finished breastfeeding probably 3 years prior to finding the lump. And I'm not saying there's a connection, but I do know based on some of the information that I've inundated myself with over the last 4 years that there can be an injury on site, and then cancer can form around that with DNA damage and all that stuff. So there's lots of ways it happens. But I remember having this damage almost in the same place when I was breastfeeding. I had mastitis. So the area was familiar to me. And I thought, oh, that's nothing. I had a bump there before, right? Because I had a problem with that. So I kind of put it off, which a lot of us do. We either rationalize in our own minds, oh, it's nothing, or we say we're scared and we say, I don't want to know if it is something. There's lots of reasons we don't go forward. And at the time, I was also not doing mammograms, which was a huge mistake because my mom had breast cancer, and I knew my chances of experiencing it were higher because there was not a genetic link that we found so far, but certainly a genetic history. So I should have been doing it, and I wasn't, for all kinds of reasons, one of which being my idea about the radiation, which is, not completely false, but completely foolish. If you're talking about your health being your priority, sometimes you have to take a little bit of something you don't want to get a bigger benefit. And had I been doing mammograms, now the recommendation is 40. I hear they just changed it again, right? So I think at the time it was 45. But anyway, had I been doing them as I should have, they would have found this lump before I did, and the path out of this probably would have been a little easier. But nevertheless, that's how I found it. As a Black woman, and most Black women I have higher kind of fibrous breasts, they call it. So I have a lot of granular feeling, lumpy things in my breast anyhow. So sometimes it's difficult to tell the difference between what's what. When I felt the tumor that I then months later found out was actual cancer, it felt different. And I was like, oh, it stops you. You go, oh, that's different. And then you have to figure out, your path forward. So my path forward started with way more integrated, or way more what we call alternative. I call it natural. And, unfortunately, I didn't have the early detection. So I didn't have the benefit of time.
The biggest companies in the world are willing to pay big bucks for anyone who's able to code. And
I'm being on my side.
So you guys heard what she said. She didn't have the benefit of time being on her side. So I think that is something that must be pointed out. When it comes to cancer diagnosis, time is a big deal. So if you can catch the cancer early, there's a better chance of survival. Your survival rate is better than if you were to wait. Knowing that Ananda's mother had breast cancer, she says here that she does regret not going to get those years like she should have, because it could have been detected earlier. The only thing that I will say about that is even after the breast cancer was detected at stage 2, she still refused radiation treatment, and she chose to go the holistic route. Now, I'm not, knocking anybody when it comes to their body and what they decide to do with their body. So I'm definitely not trying to knock her for her decision and how she chose to deal with her breast cancer diagnosis. However, what I can say from some of the articles that I read, some of the research that I've done, when people do tend to take the holistic approach, the survival rate is low. I don't know if you're familiar with Steve Jobs. No, he didn't have breast cancer, but he did have a very rare form of pancreatic cancer. Now, Steve Jobs was the co-founder of the Apple product. He had a very, very, very high chance of survival because the form of pancreatic cancer that he had. Thank you so much, Special Pay, for that super sticker. I appreciate you. And thank you, Nina Edwards, as well. Thank you. The type of pancreatic cancer that he had, I don't want to tell y'all no stories. Let me see. Well, I'll just go off of what I know. The type of pancreatic cancer that he had was very, very rare. I think only maybe 10% of people get this type of pancreatic cancer. And that type of cancer that he had is the kind that grows very, very, very slowly. So he had ample opportunity to either receive radiation or surgery or whatever it is that the doctors recommended, but he chose not to. Steve Jobs actually chose to do things holistically. And by the time he decided to follow doctor's orders and do radiation and do the surgeries, he was already at stage 4, and the pancreatic cancer had spread throughout his body. And as you guys know, Steve Jobs did pass away from cancer. Ms. Shawn said, so she's stage 4, which means it has spread to her other organs. Yes. So I did read an article that stated that her cancer has spread throughout her body. The only part of her body that the cancer has not spread to is her brain. It's really, really sad, y'all. It's so sad. And I think for me, it's sad because I remember Ananda, and she is such a sweet spirit. She is such a sweet spirit. She's so talented. She has such a great personality. I don't know if you guys have watched, like I said, I grew up in the early 90s, so I remember the Ananda Lewis show. Remember when she had a talk show? Y'all might not remember that. And of course, she was a VJ for MTV. Now that I don't remember, I read about that. Thank you, Sweet Pea, for that super sticker. Thank you. She says, I always enjoy your channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support. Whopper says holistic is more effective during preventative measures before the disease arises. When it's already there, it's hard to fight it, even going holistic, especially if it's aggressive. Nini said pancreatic is worse. Pancreatic is a really, really bad cancer. From what I hear, all cancer is bad. Okay, so let me not say it that way. But from what I read, pancreatic cancer is a very, very aggressive cancer, and the survival rate is very low with pancreatic. I'll say that. I need the membership. Oh, thank you, Blessed Queen, for that super chat. You know what? I'm gonna drop my membership link. I'm gonna drop it after my live. I'm gonna drop it on both of my community walls on both pages. If you guys want to join the membership, because like I said, that's where, for the most part, not all of my content, but for the most part, a lot of my videos and stuff for the saga will be in my membership, and I'm gonna explain that later on. So let me take. Let's see what else Ananda said.
And the longer time went with me doing the alternative way, and I did literally everything. I mean, I have a list that is mind-blowing of how much I spent, how much I did. Either way, it's expensive. But it wasn't working. And it was helping me in some ways. It was supporting my body, but it wasn't killing the cancer. And so I had to sit with myself and go, listen, the goal is living. not being stubborn, right? And because of that, I had to open myself up to what we call an integrative approach, or I had to do a bit of conventional. I had chemotherapy, but I did a 10% genetically targeted insulin potentiator. I did a very fancy chemo, right? And that allowed me to keep my body's health high, and which is great because then, you know, your body has to heal you out of it. Ultimately, drugs are super helpful, right? I'm way open to drugs now. And I wasn't in the beginning, but I see the benefit for myself. I know for myself, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the chemotherapy. And I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my discipline. And all of it has had to come together in this journey. So it's been interesting. It's been a gift in some ways, though, because I never would have looked at the stress in my life. I never would have looked at my relationships. I never would have checked myself in a lot of ways. I never would have stopped.
So she's saying here that after years and years of trying the holistic approach, she noticed that it was not working. And so due to the fact that it was benefiting her body in other ways, but it was not killing the cancer, she did have to go ahead and do something she didn't want to do. She had to go ahead and try chemotherapy. I did find it interesting that she said that she tried a very fancy form of chemotherapy, whatever that means. And she said that she only did about 10% chemo. I don't know what that means. So I guess I got to do some research on that because what does that mean? I thought when you do chemo, you know. Thank you, Candy Kisses. She says, keep up the great work, Queen. Thank you so much, Queen. Blessed Queen says, okay, I can't believe that my Irene love your content, boo. Thank you. Hey, Rats, what's going on, sis? Blessed Queen. I know, because I'm like, I said, well, I'm gonna say thank you anyway. Blessed Queen said my super chat is all wrong. I meant I let it expire. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna make sure that I post it on my community wall. We're having something tomorrow at work for our residents. Cool. My kids are actually wearing pink tomorrow. Well, everybody except for Major. He's not wearing pink. He said pink for girls. He's 12 years old. I said, but Major, this is for a good cause. He like, yeah, well, he was like, I'm wearing pink. And I'm like, oh God. Now my 7-year-old don't care. But my other two, they're wearing pink tomorrow in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Thank you, Bridget. Thank you for that super chat. She says great content awareness is key. Okay, so let's get into so if anybody knows what she meant by if you know what she meant by 10% of chemo, I've never heard of anything like that. So I don't know if are there different forms of chemo. Ananda just seems like one of those people that's super into like holistic treatments. She's probably not one of those type of people that takes medicine and stuff like that. Look, I don't knock people that are into holistic health and holistic treatments and stuff like that. I believe that is a great thing. However, if I'm looking at the pros and cons and I'm looking at possibly not being here anymore, and they're telling me I'm going to have to take medicine and radiation, and my goal is to live, I think that I would probably go with the traditional treatment. Now, I'm not saying that she's wrong. I'm just saying that's not what I would have done. And even here, she is saying that she does regret some of those things. Thank you, Penny J, for that super chat, super sticker. Hey, just real quick, I also didn't realize that there has been so many celebrities with breast cancer. I also want to look into some of the, not that it matters, but I kind of want to see like what race is more amped to get a breast cancer diagnosis. Because when I look at the celebrities who have had breast cancer, they're mostly white. You have, of course, Shannon Doherty, who passed away this year, Olivia Newton-John, Wanda Sykes actually had breast cancer, Christina Applegate, Sheryl Crow, Robin Roberts, who's Black, Kathy Bates. Did Kathy Bates pass away, you guys? Because I feel like I heard that she did. And she's like one of my favorite actresses. You know, she's the one that played the crazy lady on Misery. Y'all know that's like one of my favorite movies. Suzanne Summers, I believe she passed away as well, or am I wrong? She had breast cancer. Jane Fonda, Angelina Jolie, Katie Couric, Melissa Etheridge, Juliana Rancic, Betsy Johnson. I believe Betsy Johnson passed away. Fran Drescher. Yeah. So those are some celebrities who have had breast cancer. I just think I just noticed that most of them are white, except for Robin Roberts. Thank you, Amelia, for that super chat. Amelia says, my mom died from blood cancer last year, and my sister is 5 years strong from breast cancer. That's what I'm talking about. Your sister is in a remission from breast cancer. So that's awesome. I'm sorry for the loss of your mom from blood cancer. That's another cancer I've never heard of. Thank you, Georgia Gull. I appreciate you. Thanks for the love. Y'all sending me love today. Thank you. Candy Kisses said black and white women are in the same rate. Okay. I know equal amounts of African American and Caucasians have breast cancer. Okay. Let's get into oh shoot. Let me put my phone on the charger. Hold on one second. All right, we're gonna finish watching a little bit more of this interview. Okay.
Some of my bad habits, right? Alcohol and cancer, the connection is clear and it's massive. Stress and cancer, connection is very clear. There are a lot of things we all do that we just take for granted until we can't take them for granted anymore. I lost a little bit of my eyebrows, but because the fractionated chemotherapy is what I did, it's like 1/10 of what you would normally do in conventional.
Okay, so she answered my question. So there's a new one. I've never heard of that before. It's called myeloma upper. Oh, blood cancer. Okay, I'm gonna look into that. So what she did was something called fractionated, I hope I said that right, chemotherapy, which instead of a full-blown chemotherapy treatments, she decided to take 10% chemo of that chemotherapy treatment. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Spicy Brown. Spicy Brown says my mom died from myeloma. Am I saying that right? Myeloma. I'm sorry to hear that. That's my first time ever hearing of that.
And they've tested to make sure that chemo you use will kill your particular cancer. So again, it's very specialized. It's not something they do in conventional right now, which I hope they start to transform into a different way to look at even what they do, because it is important. And it was also insulin potentiated, because what they know is that cancer feeds on sugar. If I understood what I know now 15 years ago, I can guarantee you I'd be in a healthier body, and I may never have developed cancer, because my body developed this. An alien didn't come land and put an egg in me that was cancer, right? Your body does this for certain reasons. There are pathways that cause this, and there are things we can do to prevent it. That's not to say you're going to always prevent it. There's some genetic components or some things you can't avoid. But I know if you're doing your part in your body, whatever you end up experiencing is going to have less of an effect on you, because you're going to be in a healthier body. That's just facts. I read a lot as a kid. I was able to really just access what was naturally in front of me physically, right? My grandma was a real Renaissance woman who was one of the survivors of the Tulsa Massacre in 1921. She was a little girl, but her family, my grandfather was hidden by his employer. He was employed by a big white company, I think, and I wasn't there, but from the stories I've heard, they gathered all the men who worked for them who were Black men, and they took them to a safe place. My great-grandmother said it was outdoors, and they held them there until the mobs moved through to save their lives. And I'm sure it was to save their business, but whatever the reason, my great-grandfather lived. My great-grandmother took her 4 children, my grandmother was one of them at the time, and hid them under the house and left the doors open because they heard the mobs were coming through, gathering people up and just murdering them. Children, men, women, didn't matter. They were taking anybody out. There's a revving up that happens with that kind of mob mentality. So she So my great-grandparents were really rabbits. I hope we didn't eat any of those, but I don't remember. So instead of, we didn't have cable and I didn't watch, had it, like when MTV was around, had it. So I didn't get, not talk and move. I didn't get to kind of be inundated with the pop culture. My grandma had on, I watched Gilligan's Island and I had no idea what it was because I didn't have cable for the first time. But
I was fast forwarding it because she seemed like she's getting into other things. She already spoke on her cancer and some of the things that she regrets. Thank you for that membership. Who is that? Thank you, Unchanged Me. Thank you so much. Here, Miss Shawn. Miss Shawn says, let me see. My mother had appendicitis. Am I saying this right? Appendicitis. I think I said the appendicitis cancer. I'm going to assume that's cancer of the appendix in the throat. You don't even know you have that until until stage 4 has no symptoms. Now that is scary. I'm sorry to hear that, Miss Shawn. Wow, that is scary. So there's no way that you can detect this particular type of cancer until it's stage 4. Like even, okay, so I can see if it's not something that you are aware of or that you know runs in your family. So you would never know to go check for that unless maybe it runs in your family. But Ms. Shawn, since you do know that your mother had it, is it possible that the doctors can check it, or is it that they can't even detect it until stage 4? Or are you saying that it's just simply no symptoms, but it can be detected if it's checked for? I hope that's the case. I hope that they could at least, check for it and detect it, even though there's no symptoms. Miss Judy said all the chemicals they put in our food is causing cancer. I agree with that as well. Thank you, Lady Love. Hey, girl. Thank you for that super sticker. Candy Kisses said, in my opinion, these cancers are caused by the hormones they're putting in our food, the pesticides on fruits and veggies, and different drinks like sodas. Just my thoughts. I agree with you. Even when you talk to people from other countries, they'll tell you that their food tastes different. They'll say the food in America, it's a different taste of that food. And then when you look at the obesity rate in America, I feel like it's contributed to the hormones that's put in the foods. Even the fruits look different than they look in different parts of the world. Thank you, Miss Phelps, for that membership. Miss Judy said the colon cancer I have. Wait, Miss Judy, you have colon cancer? Miss Judy said the colon cancer I have doesn't have symptoms. You never know you have it until you get a coloscopy. Hold on one second. Until you have a colonoscopy or the pull-ups grow so large they cause a blockage. I didn't know you had colon cancer, Miss Judy. I'm gonna be praying for you as well. So that's why you say you take your chemo in a pill form. Let's see. The chemicals they add to our food is illegal in almost every single country. Blood work is called CA125. It's a cancer blood test. If the levels are high, ask your provider. Did Shawn respond to that question? Miss Judy said, yes, ma'am, stage 1. I'm glad to hear you at stage 1. Not glad to hear it, but I'm glad that it's not it has not spread. As long as I go in every 3 years to make sure the polyps haven't come back, I'm good. That's good. I'm so glad to hear that, Miss Judy. Here she is. Miss Shawn said it's a very rare cancer. It starts in the appendix, but unless you have pain, you won't feel it until the appendix bursts, which takes it into stage 4. It's a form of colon cancer, but it's very rare. Wow. So it grows within the appendix, and I guess the pressure causes that to burst, and it spreads into the other parts of the body, going into stage 4. That is freaking scary. I changed my name up, and me and my sister was playing around on YouTube last night. It was Christy. Oh, okay. I don't know where it came from. Prayers up to Miss Judy. Yes, prayers up. And, we got so many supporters. that go through so many things, and you know, we don't even know it. We don't know what these people be going through. We don't know what some of these creators go through, you know. So I'm most definitely praying for Miss Judy. Um, so let me pull this down, you guys, okay? And let's see. Let me pull that down. And we're going to get into, give me 1 second. Let me pull this up really quick. So we're going to switch subjects. Thank you everybody for sitting here and actually taking time to listen to something educational and worthwhile. You know, sometimes we do got to use our platforms to spread awareness, you know, not saying that the entertainment part isn't good too. Oh, I feel like I got to sneeze. But sometimes we got to, you know, cover things to spread awareness as well. And I really enjoyed you guys. You know, I got 141 people in here. It's good to see that you guys came to listen to me, not for nonsense, but for something educational for a change. And it's good to do that. You know, it feels good to talk to y'all about something positive, you know, every now and again. You know what I mean? Let me pull this up, you guys. Hold on, let me see. All right, y'all. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what time it is. So let's get on this topic. So as most of you guys know, LaTruth dropped a song. I don't know if this is like gonna be an album, but I know the name of the song is "You a Liar, Betrayal." That's the name of the song. I listened to it, and you have some people that are saying that he is disrespectful in the song. You have some people saying that he is being abusive in the song, and that he's crying in the song, and that he needs to get over it. Okay. Hey, Karen, thank you so much for that super sticker. I appreciate all the love y'all giving me today. If anybody is sending me a super chat, let me just say thank you for the super chat. I don't know if y'all sending me one or not because my other phone is dead, so I can't even check. But if anybody has sent me one just in case, or if you want to send me one, thank you. I just can't check. Sorry. I'm not trying to be rude. I just can't check it right now. My phone is dead. So this is my take on it. So my take on it is I actually really like the song. I think that regardless of what they say about LaTruth, I think that he is a talented rapper. That's one thing they can't take from him. The man can rap. Okay. And I thought that the song was very made him his feelings very vulnerable. I think he said what he meant in the song. And if you're a person that is a music head like myself, if you're somebody that enjoys music, if you're somebody that follows rap music, R&B music, it doesn't really matter if you're a man or a woman. A lot of people put their own experiences and their own feelings into their music like a diary. So I think it's quite ridiculous, actually, to I think it's quite ridiculous to criticize somebody for speaking about their own life experiences in their music. And their music is something that's personal. You have artists that do it all the time, speak on breakups, speak on family issues, curse, however they want to do it, however their delivery comes out. They're putting their true emotions and their true feelings into their music. And that's why people that sing and people that rap and create music call themselves artists, because they're creating. There's no limits to creativity. What you may think is disrespect is what an artist may think is creative. You got Taylor Swift, who done been through 55 different boyfriends, and every single album that she's ever made is about a man that done did her wrong, and she laying it out on the table. Okay, so that's what artists do. But due to the fact that a lot of people that support Brianna, first of all, it doesn't matter. They're going to support her no matter what she does. We know that. They say that about us, but the same can be said about them. They're going to support her and look over anything and everything that she does. I find it quite hypocritical that somebody would say that he's being disrespectful in his song that he put out, when this man has been disrespected for almost 2 years. We've got his naked picture floating around that the young lady went to jail for. We have his nickname Shrimp now, which is what people call him due to her, the name that she gave him. So he's been dealing with disrespect from her and her fans for quite some time. But the moment that he puts out a song and he calls her out of his name, which is probably how he truly feels, now he's being abusive. And this is kind of how the world works. I'm going to speak on a little bit of, one of my clients, one of my kids, okay, he was, and this happened maybe a few hours ago, right? I'm not going to give you too much detail because I can't, but what he said was, it seems like this young lady in school is always picking on me. She's always making fun of me. She's always bothering me. So I snap and I end up getting in trouble. But how come when I snap, I get in trouble, but when she picking on me, she don't get in trouble? She kept hitting me in my head. When I finally cursed her out, now I get in trouble, but nobody said anything about what she did. I had to tell him that life isn't fair. And even though she did that to you, understand that you're a young Black boy and you're going to grow up to be a Black man. And in society, you have to deal with abuse. And the way that you have to deal with it is you're not allowed to express your feelings. You're not allowed to say what you want to say. You're not allowed to spaz out. You're not allowed to be emotionally unintelligent. You're not allowed to be human. Is it fair? No. Life is not fair, though. And this particular client is in 6th grade. And when I told him that, he was looking at me like I was crazy. And I said, I know what I'm saying doesn't make sense. But sometimes things in life don't make sense. It's just how it is. Because when you show your human side, and when you show how upset you are, and you don't have control over how upset you are, the person that got you upset will not be judged, especially if that is a girl, a female person, a woman. You are the one that will be held accountable, not her. And I found myself explaining this to him. And as I was explaining it, I said, it's a shame that we have to teach our children this at such a young age. We literally ingrain this thought process into them, where we tell our boys that they are responsible for not having for their feelings, regardless of if somebody made them feel that way or not. They have to be emotionally intelligent. They have to be in control at all times. They're not allowed to cry. They're not allowed to scream. They're not allowed to call you out of your name. They're not allowed to express how they feel. They got to go cry in the shower. They got to go cry in the car. They can't tell you how they feel. They had to hold it in. That is what we're teaching our kids. And I felt like I had to tell him that, because even though it wasn't fair, that's how it is. Because in society, a woman can disrespect you 10,000 times. A woman can call you a B word 10,000 times, make fun of your anatomy 10,000 times, tell 50 million lies on you, try to frame you, try to ruin your life, put lies on you, try to get you killed, call the police and lie, do whatever she wants to do. But as soon as you respond, you're the villain. And I truly hope that that is what you all are teaching your boys, Black and white boys. I hope that that is what you're telling your boys, that you are not allowed to be human. Is it fair? No, it's not. but it's going to keep you alive and it's going to keep you out of trouble. It'll keep your life from being ruined and it'll stop you from being ridiculed. So in society, what we're doing is we're giving our young women, I know I'm getting a little bit off topic, but not really, it actually relates. We're doing our young, and this is for the people that say, for the very small-minded, unintelligent, narrow-minded, manipulative women that support Brianna, and I'm not saying that's all of them are, but for most of them, the very much so ignorant women that do support Brianna, that looked at all of the content creators and say, you know what? She's done no wrong. And everybody that's pointing it out is hating on her, as a matter of fact. No, you want to know what I'm hating on? I'm hating on the stigma that's placed on society that says that the woman has no responsibility to conduct herself as a leader or to conduct herself as a person with common sense. I'm speaking out against the stigma that it's okay for a woman to act a goddamn fool, put her own life in danger, put her children's lives in danger because she cannot control her emotions. And it is okay because you got a coochie. That's what I'm speaking against. You got women that sit there on their panels, and you have people who support Brianna who preach that men are the leaders and they have all of the responsibility, and there is no responsibility that a woman should have. And if a woman does spaz out on you, it's okay because women are emotional. I'm letting you know now, you may as well go ahead and sign your daughter's death certificate, because that is a death sentence to teach a little girl that you are allowed to put your hands on a grown-ass man. You're allowed to not use any self-control, say whatever you want, do whatever you want, be however you want, treat people however you want, and you'll get away with it because you're a woman. Your child, your female child, is going to end up with her ass whooped or in prison. People in the chat, if you love your female children, if you love your daughters, teach them to keep their hands to themselves. Teach them to conduct themselves like young ladies. Teach them not to put themselves in situations that can get them killed. Teach them that a lot of men don't care that they're women. Teach them to preserve their life. Teach them right so that they can teach their daughters right. Because what we teach our daughters is what our daughters will teach their daughters. So when you save one life, you're saving another life. Don't teach your daughter that it is okay to call a man everything but a child of God. And then when she get her teeth knocked out, she's sitting there looking surprised. Is it right? No, it's not right, but it can happen. It's called self-control. It's called emotional intelligence. So it's all fun and games while you're on the internet picking on LaTruth. But if y'all are really out here teaching your daughters that they do not have to conduct themselves like they got some sense just because they bleed once a month, I feel sorry for you. And I feel sorry for the generations that are to come. Now let's get on to LaTruth's song. Now, what I did notice about his song was that he didn't say anything that wasn't true. Everything that he said in the song was true. What we do know, and I'm not going to play it because I don't want to get I want to get struck or anything like that. Not saying that LaTruth is going to strike me because I know he wouldn't. However, YouTube does have certain systems where they can pick up if you're playing certain music or playing somebody else's content, they can match it up and say, okay, you're playing somebody else's content, that's a strike. I don't know that, so I ain't going to play it. But what I will say is he didn't say anything that wasn't true. I find it quite ironic. What he did say was that you lied on me, bitch. And she did lie on him. She did lie on him. You lied on me. You ruined my life. You put a stain on my career that I can't get off. You put a stain on my reputation that I cannot remove. Am I perfect? No, I'm not. But when I met you, you were nothing like who you are today. I knew you before your surgeries. I knew you before social media. I knew you before your followers. I loved you and I loved your children. I put you in a position to win. And in return, you thank me by destroying me. And who do you all think that you are to tell somebody when they're supposed to get over something? Who do y'all think that you are to tell somebody because somebody got a penis that they're not allowed to feel? They're not allowed to hold a grudge. They're not allowed to still be angry. Who do y'all think y'all are? Especially when Brianna started getting her karma when it came to Janelle, when everybody said, well, hey, it's kind of what she deserves because look at what she did to another human being. And they said, how can you laugh at another woman's pain? Well, how can you laugh at another human being's pain? How can you laugh at somebody that's expressing their true feelings and emotions, whether it be over a beat or not? Who are you to tell him that he needs to get over it? Who are y'all? What kind of person laughs at anybody's pain? Us saying, hey, this is your karma, Brianna, for what you've done to another human being, and this is what you're getting. When she was expressing what she was dealing with Janelle, this is what you get, because not because we wanted it to happen, not because we're laughing at you, but because that's how life works. Don't get mad at us, get mad at the universe. It's called universal law. What you do is what will return. What you put out is what comes back. It's a boomerang effect. We're just following, we're just reporting the news. But for you to sit there and laugh at somebody making a song of what they've experienced and how they've lost pretty much everything, they're losing followers, and how somebody's lie has destroyed their reputation and destroyed their platform and put a stain on who they've tried to build their platform as, or who they portrayed themselves to be, and the image that they have wanted for their platform. They wanted a wholesome image for their platform. But because he opened up an inbox and he let somebody into his life, his whole, everything he's worked for has now been, I wouldn't say tarnished, but it's been affected. You can't tell somebody how long to be mad about that. You cannot tell somebody how to be mad. Some of y'all still out here still mad at you. Some of y'all out here still mad at your ex-husband from 20 years ago. Some of y'all got y'all behinds whooped 15 years ago by your ex-husband, your ex-boyfriend, and you're still in counseling about that. Some of y'all on here hollering, spitting, and screaming at the computer screen because you got hit upside your head 25 years ago, and you're still mad about it. Some of y'all are supporting Brianna because you're still mad about your past experiences, even though you know she's a liar. So if you still dealing with your trauma from your first baby daddy, who you got a child with, and the child 35 years old, and you still dealing with that trauma, who are you to tell him that he can't still be dealing with his trauma from a divorce that happened in 2023? Yeah, knock it off. I ain't got nothing else to say about it. It was a good song. The truth, keep on expressing yourself however you want to. Ignore these silly, foolish ass women that ain't gonna never get over their own trauma, and keep doing you, King. And then what I also want to say is, moving forward, a lot of my content surrounding the LaTruth's saga will be under members only. Not the lives per se, but more so like the videos and stuff. And it's not like I'm trying to punish y'all. It's more so because regardless of, whether you want to engage in arguments and stuff like that, you're going to be targeted just because you're speaking on the saga. I've accepted it. It is what it is. We get it. If you're supporting the truth, you're going to get attacked. It doesn't even matter. Because people, like I said, we're dealing with a lot of emotionally unintelligent people. We're dealing with a lot of people who are not that smart, not that bright. And when you're not that smart, you are unable to listen to, even if you don't understand it, an intelligent person is able to listen to another point of view and not get mad. We're dealing with people who are unable to listen to another point of view without getting themselves upset. So when it comes to this YouTube platform, I'm telling you, unless you pay me, you won't get a response out of me. You just won't. You just won't. However, I will continue my content. Period. So that's gonna continue. Not gonna make the membership super expensive. I think the first membership is like $3.99. The level that I make for the saga, as I continue to cover it, which I will, because ain't nobody gonna stop me. It's probably gonna be like $4.99, something like that. I don't know. I'll think about it once I get to I'm looking at these comments. Once I get to my YouTube studios and trying to set it up, I'll figure it out. But anyway, y'all, I've been on here a little bit over an hour. I want to thank everybody for joining me. I appreciate y'all for stopping through. Thank you so much for the people that joined in the beginning before I talked about the saga, about the breast cancer awareness. And I'm sending prayers up for Ananda Lewis. I know that she is at stage 4. However, God can turn anything around. There's no limit to what God can do. He's a miracle worker. He's a way maker. So my prayers are still going up for Ananda Lewis. And I hope that her story touched people in the chat who probably have people in their family who have suffered from breast cancer or any cancer. And I hope that her story showed how important it is to detect it early, or to not just breast cancer, but all cancers. If you can, if you have certain cancers that run in your family, go take the test. Go do what you got to do to make sure that you're okay. I saw a comment where somebody said that you want to make sure that you get blood tests frequently to make sure that cancers haven't spread to certain organs or been affected or whatever the case is. So yeah, do what you got to do. Don't wait till 40. Hell, because I was thinking about that. I might not wait till 40. I might go. Breast cancer doesn't run in my family. I don't even know anybody in my family who's ever had cancer. Hell, I don't know anybody that's in my family. I think my aunt might have had. I think she had like lymph node something with. I was so young, I don't even remember. But it doesn't run in my family. However, it doesn't really have to run in your family for you to get it. So even though they say 40. I say go as early as you can. As soon as you feel like hey, I'm 37, I'm thinking about going next year. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. So hopefully, this live motivated a couple of y'all. And you want to know what? Some people are afraid to go to the doctor, not because of the pain, not because they're scared of hospitals, but because they're scared of the diagnosis. Some people have an inkling like something could be wrong and they just don't want to hear it. But sometimes you got to get over that feeling of just not wanting to get bad news, because you got to think about it like this. Either I go now and get the bad news and I can fix what's going on, or I don't go because I'm scared to get the bad news. And then by the time I do go, it's because I have to go because I'm in so much pain, or because I can't function. And now I'm in this situation where it can't be treated and it can't be reversed. So try to get over your fear for those of you guys who are afraid, because I'm like that too. Like, I'm one of those people that I don't like going to the doctor because I don't want to get no bad news, but I always just make myself go. It is what it is. Just pray that everything turned out okay, but don't be like that. Don't just not go because you're scared to hear bad news. Go face the music, and whatever they tell you, you deal with it like a G. Whatever they tell you, they give you the news that whatever. Whether it be good or bad, and that, if you catch something early, you're able to treat it. So yeah, don't be like that. Candy Kisses said men hate to go to the doctors. Yeah, they do. Yeah. Oh, Lady Love, I didn't know that you had breast cancer at one point. It didn't run in my family, but yeah, I had it 3 years in remission. Oh, praise God. That's what I'm talking about. All right, y'all. I'm about to go ahead and get up out of here. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure that you are subscribed to all of my channels if you haven't already. Now, also make sure that you hit the notification bell. Once you hit the bell, make sure that you hit all notifications so that you can be notified of anytime I live stream in the future, anytime that I post content. Also, if you would like to donate to my channel, my cash app is $UPP1987. Thank you so much for everybody who sent cash apps. Of course, I'm sorry, you guys, I'm not able to check them because my phone is dead. And thank you for everybody that sent super stickers, super chats. And if you weren't able to donate monetarily, thank you so much for hitting the like button and just giving me a view. All right, y'all. I will be back later much later, probably like around 11:30 or something like that, because I want to, and that's not going to be on this channel. It's going to be on my other channel, on my main page, because I don't want it on this channel, because it's kind of graphic. I don't want it to get flagged and stuff. So I'm going to put it on my channel that's not monetized. And we're going to go over that interrogation. It's really interesting. And we're going to point out some of the things that, some of the mistakes that were made in the interrogation. I think it's really important to look at that, because I saw a lot of mistakes in that interrogation. They made a lot of mistakes, not the police, but the young men that were being interrogated and the family that was there with them. All right, y'all. I will see you guys later. Y'all be easy. All right, y'all. Peace.